Today we're going to present you the highlights of the research concerning the country profile and culture profile regarding the XYZ company. First the country profile. Sumatra was part of the Kingdom of Sayoto during the first 13 centuries of the history of the country, until in 1278 the island became part of the Javanese people, who spread the Islam. That was mainly caused by traders that visited the island. This was mainly caused by the geographical location in Asia. That was mainly used for trading occupations. The Sumatran nature enables the island to perform activities in the area of agriculture, and nowadays this remains the core activity of the island concerning the economy. However, services are getting more important, and the natural resources of Sumatra are very rich. However, this is a little bit strange. These natural resources aren't used very intensively, and this might be something for in the future. The current economic situation is based on the agriculture history due to the Dutch colonization, and after World War II, when Sumatra became independent and part of Indonesia, it remained to perform activities in the agricultural sector.
The political situation of Sumatra is related closely to its history. During the Second World War, it was occupied by Japan for 3 years from 1945 to 1949. It was only in 1950 that Sumatra became a part of the Republic of Indonesia. Since then, Sumatrans have expressed dissatisfaction with the central government in the form of insurrections or other regional movements. In 1945, the legislative framework has been portrayed as presidential with parliamentary characteristics. During President Suharto's term, a few alterations were made in the Indonesian constitution which brought about changes in all branches of the government.
In the labor market, Sumatra is focused on the agriculture sector. In the late year, an estimated 200 jobs were given to people in Sumatra, and individuals fit to work ages 15 and up rose until 3.1 million. This data shows that Sumatra's agriculture sector is rich in resources, that a lot of people must be needed for these resources to be extracted.
As for labor law, the government grants the privilege to join unions regardless of political associations. Unionized workforce accounted for 14% in 2005. Children aged 13 to 15 were permitted by law to work only for close to 3 hours a day with legitimate wage and parents' consent. However, there is no national minimum wage set for workers.
Regarding the current issues of Sumatra, earthquakes are rampant. In March 2016, a massive 7.8 quake was recorded on the Richter scale. Good thing it was 800 kilometers square away from the southwest Sumatra. Thus, it is also noted that there is no death of people were recorded and no one got hurt.
When it comes to the country culture profile, we use the theory of Geert Hofstede. Geert Hofstede divides the culture in 6 dimensions. The first dimension is power distance. When it comes to power distance, Indonesia scores 78%, which is very high. This means that the people of the country don't believe that human beings are equal. They live in a hierarchy, and everyone has a place, and there's no further justification needed. When it comes to individualism, the country scores 14%, which is very low. This means that it's a collectivistic country, and people live in groups, and the social bond is very strong and important, and loyalty breaks almost every other rule in the country. The third dimension is masculinity. When it comes to this dimension, Indonesia scores 46%, which means they're almost in the middle of a masculine or a feminine country. So it's important for them to be the best in everything they do, but it's also important to love what you do.
Regarding indulgence, according to the labor market, although they were colonized by different factions, the current stand as of now is that they resist change and still gives more emphasis on working. Citizens are obliged and prefer to work for the family rather than taking time to unwind and take leisure breaks. It is mainly because of the vast resources which could be gathered throughout Sumatra on agriculture. A great number of dedicated workforces are needed in this point of interest for the Indonesians.
The next dimension in Hofstede's 6D model is the long-term orientation. This describes how every society has to maintain some links in the past while dealing with the challenges of the future. Indonesia scored high on this dimension. It was shown during the resistance of Indonesian groups before to their colonizers by burning their towns to avoid being taken, but still, they were able to become one of the wealthiest agricultural countries in the world for a long time.
Lastly, uncertainty avoidance. There is no national minimum wage permitted by law. Wages are set by range wage committees who gauge the sum a laborer needs to procure to accommodate his or her fundamental needs. In 2005, the lowest pay permitted by law in Jakarta was $71 per month. However, numerous businesses do not pay this lowest pay permitted by law. Because of the 40-hour per weeks worth of work implemented throughout Indonesia, harmony in the workplace are kept intact. The asal bapak senang mentality, or keep the boss happy, is of good use in these kinds of workplaces, for the rewards of having a good workload is not heavily consuming the time of workers, which in turn would give a good outcome for their superiors in the latter parts, which involves earning.
So for the company culture profile, we used two theories. We used Cameron and Quinn and Shine. For Cameron and Quinn, the culture profile was defined as a clan or family culture, which means that most leaders are seen as father figures, and they are very focused on working together and not so much on being the best. We think that the company should go more to a market culture, but still stay a family culture because that fits more in the country culture. So they should focus a bit more on being innovative and having a great place in the market so they can grow.
According to Shine, organizational cultures that can embrace uncertainty more easily will be inherently adaptive. Based on Hofstede research regarding Indonesia with respect to the 6D model, Indonesia has a weak uncertainty avoidance, which means that, generally, people and organizations accept uncertainty. This indicates a greater possibility of the acceptance of the proposed performance measurement system. Also, according to Edgar Schein, there are three stages of culture, which are artifacts and symbols, espoused values, and basic assumptions and values.
The artifacts of XYZ Company will be its two manufacturing plants, which consist of its production facilities, including a bagging facilities, urea warehouse, seaports, laboratory, and maintenance workshop units, as well as its non-production facilities, including a school, housing, hospital, and other recreational facilities. Espoused values of XYZ would be its vision of becoming a leading competitive fertilizer and petrochemical company in both domestic and international markets, as well as its core values, which include having a positive, creative, and innovative thinking, working as a means of worshiping God, praying, and gratitude. Basic assumptions and values would include the values of the individuals in the organization, paternalistic methodology of managers, and sentiments and contemplations of the individuals.
Now we'll present our recommendations regarding this case. Well, first we came up with employer branding due to the fact that the XYZ company scores average on masculinity, which means that they are very proud of their achievements, and it's very important in the Sumatran culture to do what you like, so that's very important. This recommendation also keeps in mind, keeps the transition to the market culture in mind. Now the XYZ company has a family culture, but it needs to get a more market culture, and employer branding enables the organization to go to a market culture.
Additionally, we would also like to use Lewin's change model and Shine's discussion on employee anxiety in the implementation of the new system. Lewin's change model includes unfreezing the current culture or practice of the employees by explaining to them the need for change and their benefits from the new system. Implement the new practice and refreeze the changed culture by permanently imbibing it in the HR practice of the organization. Shine's theory, on the other hand, explains that employees oppose new practices because of learning anxiety brought about by fear of temporary incompetence, loss of position. Shane states that employers should make employees feel psychologically safe so that they can accept the new system.
Performance management is the orderly procedure by which an office includes its employee as people and members of the group in enhancing organizational effectiveness in the achievement of organization, mission, and objectives. By moving beyond basic employee evaluation, job assessment and performance management can strategically improve employee engagement, development, and more. By clearly articulating the expectation in the position description, the company will select suitable candidates who will develop and remain committed to XYZ throughout the employment. The recommendation will provide employees the tools they need to be successful and help to assess alignment for position and coaching for alternate career paths as needed. Continual training opportunities for all employees are essential for individuals to succeed in the current position and to advance in their careers. Effective use of performance management toolkit will help ensure that individuals are matched with job skills to succeed. Communication between employees and supervisors will be continuous, not merely the annual evaluation process. And lastly, good communication is always a key component to employee engagement and process change.
All of us were really cooperating and contributing valuable insights to the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one question actually, because I felt like at one point I was a bit too direct in asking you guys something or telling you guys I'm not sure anymore. And I felt like you guys were like, oh, and I think maybe that was a cultural thing or just me being too direct. Did you guys experience that as well, or?
Actually, it's a good thing because you're just being focused on our project and
Cool. And Pam, what did you
Yeah.
think about that?
Yeah, it's being direct is fine with me because we are used to having segues or not really being direct when
because a lot of
working with
time.
yeah. So it was good. It's fine.
Okay.
Great.
How
I
about
Good.
you, Ted?
I actually think you guys are good in conversations. I just observed. You're good in communicating.
I'm
Cool.
very approachable.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
How
Yeah,
about you,
I
Ted?
think
How do
we
you
all.
feel working with us?
Yeah, I think I feel the same way as the both of you. I think I've learned a lot from the different views, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know something about your culture and about who you girls are, and watching everything on Facebook and helping each other out in the app. So I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. It was just a lot of fun to get to know you girls, and I actually am still like really impressed by you, Pam, with like how much you know.
Lots
But
of
Angelica as well.
Thank you.
Angelica as well. Like you do everything just without even like us having to ask. You're just like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and oh, I'll do that,
Yeah, and I think sometimes we forget you're only 18 years old.
yeah.
it's vacation, so it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a good project as well. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and it was really fun to cooperate with each other. Both cultures gave us some insights for the exercise, and I just enjoyed it. It was very helpful.
Cool. Well, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll keep in touch then.
Yeah, we keep in touch. Have a nice day ahead. I know, guys.
Thank
You
you.
still have a
You
long
too.
day.
Bye.
Bye.